Yo, what's up guys? World Guild Battle, haven't done that for a video for a while. We're going to be going in, can we just hit this? That's a lot of LDs, that's actually kind of funny. I did update all of my decks to be a little bit different, so a lot of these decks is actually something that... Wait, I have to just unselect all of these units, because some of those decks I no longer use as is, so let's just do it like this. So I recreated all of my decks, mainly for the reason where I just did not have that many options, and it's good to have about like 10 to 11 options that don't have any runes overlapping, and therefore I only have like 3 speed contesting comps, well maybe 4-ish speed contesting comps, and then all of the other comps are more related to other things. So gonna be showcasing all of the runes. This one is an easy hit for this, I would say. That one is a relative easy hit for... Well, we don't have an Amber in that team anymore, which mostly of the time I like to use an Amber against this. But what we can do is we can go for Nefties. However, Nefties might have a little bit of an issue where... No, let's just go for Tiana in case there's shield runes on this, because that kind of does feel like shield runes. That is the old wood. Okay. Good old wood. It's such a weird name, man. It's such a weird name. Definitely a snipe like that's not gonna be the best. Oh, wait, this snipe also... I'm not sure... Your skill's still not an active, so I guess that Ian doesn't work against you neither, which is just kind of an issue. I think we're just gonna go in with this. I think that would technically work. It could be a little bit of a tricky one if this one is fast, but I think that could work. This one over here, which one of the two would I like to snipe out? Or do I even want to snipe out either or of the two? I think we're going to go for this one over here. This one is a pretty solid team that I would recommend people to use as well. And then this one over here. This thing can do good bits of damage. I think we're just going to snipe you and then you snipe you and then we should be good to go over there. So rune quality is fast and then fast and then fast. Fastest team out there. This thing, I'm just aiming for the 100 resistance, and then everything is via will 100 resistance with all of those units, and they're just in the next tick. That's the main thing I aim for, and then tanky. This thing is a little bit faster-ish, but then all of them are will and Vio. This thing, typical maxi team out there, not really oversending the amount of speeds I need. Don't really need Vio on this, so I just went for a Swift one in this case. And then this one over here is also the typical team with additional damage artifacts. Not too sure how good this is going to be against Mr. Oldwood. With an Amber in there, it's normally better, but I kind of wanted to split up the Amber from the other ones just to have more options and more teams available. That was the main thing. So in this case, I definitely do have to snipe you out first. It probably... Oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's real bad. I was expecting to kill that, because right now, if you go S3, you probably die. I think I still have to do this. Okay. Yeah, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Okay, I was expecting to kill that thing on the left, but that thing on the left actually had a little bit more damage. I guess adding in a suicide team would actually be nicer in that sense, it seems. So let's see how much this team can do. I think that this team is pretty darn annoying for me in the first place. But yeah, adding in the Suicide Squad, that is something that I can easily ruin as well. Haven't done that one as of yet in this version, but that is the team where you just go for the Samath plus the Ayunu and then a Perna or something like that. That would definitely have worked against that team that we just fought. In this case, it can be a little bit annoying where they start doing these kind of things, but in most cases... Okay, he actually stole like my massive shield, so if he steals the shield, I'm not dealing as much damage, but maybe destroy would have been nice over here, but I think in the long run we should be able to clear these kind of things at some point, because Nezuko actually has pretty legit damage, and you also have double reflect, so you have reflect from the shield passive of Angela, and you have reflect just from the skill itself that you have on this Gandalf unit. Plus the damage output from this unit, if you go some additional damage artifacts, is actually pretty solid. So you can already see the reflect damage coming in over there. It tends to add up. So at some point we will have to fight this thing, which is a little bit annoying because it has healing. So maybe destroy would be nice, but I kind of also like my will runes, right? So in that case, yep, good old Countess over there. Would have been nice if you also have a threat state or something, but this Nezuko unit is actually pretty darn strong. So if you have it, definitely do build it for a siege and that kind of stuff. Also, this whole offense is pretty darn strong in the first place. So Song of Destiny, sure thing. We just heal up more and then we just go for more hits. I think it's also kind of by the point where if he were to do any skill, he would have probably died to it. In this case, this thing will start healing at some point, so I'm just gonna go sending in a whole bunch of skill ones all the time, because that is probably more damage than going in for reflex and that kind of good stuff. But yeah, he does have healing on the S2, but that is the only healing that's out there, especially if you hit this on a shield, and yeah, it's just good chip damage. Do have to get in mind that you have to keep some artifact damage from this one, otherwise her damage output is not going to be that much, but she has multi-hits, skill 1 and skill 2, so that's a pretty solid hit right there. This one, we expect it to get outsped, and then we take over this match from there. And this is also just a very solid, very strong team that I don't really expect anything to go wrong in most cases, because everything just dies after one turn. Good old Amber hits. Amber hits, always good. Actually, my strongest team already lost, but that was also a weird... Ooh, that thing... Why would that thing be fast? Well, that's why I like to keep this whole team on 100... Or not on 100 dress. It's no longer 100 dress. But I like to keep this whole team on will runes. Mainly because of something like that could happen. So if something like that happens, it is nice if you're fully willed. And then you can clean up from there. So... The Tiana team is not going to be super fast if so you're like 6th set or something like that. So for that reason, just having anything in like that is nice. Can we land most of it? We did land most of it, kind of ish. Let's go for skill 3 in this case. Do we want to go for spreads right away? No, let's actually do this one first. We additional turn and then we go for pushbacks. It would be nice. I think there's so many buffs where I can't stun you anymore, but that is kind of fine. Like, if you go for a revive right now, it's not really that much of an issue if this thing starts reviving. Because even if he revives right now, like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna get another round of all of those skills and then he dies. So, also, the whole team is Vio on this right now, which is noticeable. Thank you. You Vio'd enough. Yay, everything revives. And we go for this one again. Apparently not. This one. Okay. Apparently we don't get anything, but we get a shit ton of Vios. That's also... Sure. Keep on Vioing. Why can I not have that in RTA? Why does that only work over here when you really don't care about it? But yeah, that was the first set of teams, so let's go into a next set of teams. Damn, I was checking out this guy, but this guy has some nutty fucking teams. Holy shit. I don't think my presets will actually survive for clearing this, but I kind of want to give it a try just because it looks funny. So, okay, how do we want to do it? That's the first question. What could be outspeedable? Because this thing could be a fast set as well. Like, legit, everything could be fast, which is an issue. Do we have anything where... I do think that this is properly fast, which is definitely an issue right there. Wow, all of these teams seem so freaking strong, actually. Did I rune up on a chroma version in this one? No, I did not. Okay, that team over here, I think that can win. This team over here, I think that can win. Then I do kind of hope that I'm faster than this unit over here, and then we can win on that. This team is going to be very tricky, but I think I will send that over there. And then the final hit is also having this thing, which it does have a lot of anti-cleanses and anti-nonsense and anti-everything. But I think we're just gonna send this hit over there. So, teams that I haven't showcased yet, which is this one for, well, pretty much just nuking and that kind of stuff. This thing, which is very tricky, but we do have the double, well, pretty much hope you miss kind of shits going in. And then let's see if this does actually work. And then afterwards, I also showcase the teams that I did not actually use for like how they look like in offense. So we do have that hit coming in. That hit coming in isn't the worst as of yet, actually. Let's go for you because you could still potentially use a skill. Let's spread that to all of y'all, actually. I do have to actually put you back to Despair. Despair is so much better on you than this. That is something. Good stunts, I guess. Can we actually... How is everything stunned once again? Yikes. Also, they did not really use skills at the right moment for me. That's also why I would say I like the Amber version a lot more than I like this version, because Amber just has so much more damage than this thing on the right over here, but it's still decent. At least it can proc like 1,000,000 times, and procking 1,000,000 times makes it very clear. Not the safest of hits out there, so we do outspeed this one. I think my game plan is kill this twice, and then bruiser it out against these two. I think that that is the best game plan I can have. No way you survived it. How did that Lydia survive that? That is so much damage. Well, Lydia does have like built-in damage or like, yeah, damage reduction kind of nonsense, but this thing is built for damage. Like, surviving that is not easy. That's definitely one thing right there. Okay, we have our launch order coming in. If he went for an S2 over there, would have had an issue. I don't think so as of yet, but he already did do a bit of damage with all of that chips right there. But I think we would have been fine unless that Nephthys was like super high on damage, which could be a thing, could be a thing. Moving on to the next, we do outspeed, that is great. Then the big question, what do we kill? I think we actually kill you. Yeah, you I have to kill. I hope that this is going to be enough damage. Okay, that's more than enough damage. Wait, we're not fully in tune? I so thought that this team was in tune. Wait, why is that not in tune? Okay, I would have to recheck that. I thought that this team, or maybe I'm one off tuning. That could be a thing that I tuned it one off, but I thought that this whole team was in tune. I would have to recheck that. Back to the drawing board. Sometimes you just got to try things out, but that was pretty close. If we were in tune, we would have been fine. Okay, he did land that. Did not land that. That is great. That is great. This also got a few glancings in. That is also good. Somehow this team is working. Let's just go for the switcherinos over there. Since you did already use your skill, you are not as deadly anymore. This skill 3, it would hit hard on the pony right now. It's actually not that much on additional damage for that reason. Most of the time, a Douglas into... Okay, did not land any glances over there. Well, this thing probably is high attack as well, which is a thing. But it seems to be working-ish. We keep it to the ish. Still lost my one hit that I expected to win. I messed up the tuning. But that's the thing with the Ian and the Kiara. They have good damage, but you actually have to put really proper runes to them to figure out that proper damage. But I guess I miscalculated that one for how much speed I was able to have on that unit. Already thought like they were so low on speed. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta trial and error. This one over here, oh, that actually missed. Wait, you moved first. That's interesting. Why? How do you both of y'all resist? That is fairly interesting for both of y'all resisting right there. This team is nothing near like high resistance or anything. Okay, so we have that going in. Should you die to another hit? You do. And we do win this. So this was actually a very strong lineup of defenses in the first place. That was the thing. I could have won them all if I did not mess up the other thing. But some of those hits were very close. Other hits that I did not showcase just yet, which is Robo Team. More for like Lamila teams, outspeeds, those kind of things. And then we go for this and this. This one over here, I'll figure it out how much speed I actually need on this. Maybe it's just like a little bit higher or something. I don't know. We'll figure that part out in a second. Tiana team, also just typical. Oh, wait, did already showcase that one. This is also team, just wanted to use Seimei in something. It is kind of nice to have the Assure on Destroy and then just a bit of a bruise. It's more against like pushbacks and those kind of things. But it's more of like a bruiser fight. This thing, pretty common team out there as well. And then just Tanky and Tanky right there. I guess that a lot of people will have a similar team like this. And then a good old Feng Yang with, well, just like your typical Feng Yang kind of stuff. So that's a will rune too many. So yeah, the moment, man, that's also a thing. Like at some point you're reruning so much, and it's still kind of annoying to rerune in World Guild Battle because you have that issue with overlapping runes and blah, blah, blah nonsense and stuff. That part is just annoying, and that's not really gonna go away. But yeah, that's just, that's why I recommend to use like a third-party tool to actually rune up all of the units at the same time and then make it work rather than going in back and forth like, ah, that is a rune that's already in use. Ah, that is a rune that's already in use. Because that's just kind of the issue you walk into like a freaking million times while doing this kind of nonsense. I kind of like max resistance on you. What can we remove? Let's just remove you for something with some defense and then max resistance. I said defense, max resistance. And I bet you if I throw this one in, it's going to complain. It's like, you already used that rune somewhere. Well, hopefully not. But that is just something you kind of have to figure out. Okay, no, I wasn't using that rune before. So the only thing I actually have to fix right now is yo speeds. But guys, let me know if you like more World Guild Battle content. Also, let me know what kind of offense you tend to use that are not just full speed checking, because that's the issue in World Guild Battle. You cannot speed check every defense out there. You maybe have like 1 or 2 proper speed checks, but after that, you kind of have to turn to everything. And you see that in high ranks, most of the defenses are full speed leads. The next one, full speed leads. That's just pretty much the name of the game. Full speed leads. Yep, everything in high rank is just everyone. This one is not full speed lead, so this is Tiana food then right away, which also makes this really horrible. But it's very common to have everything full speed leads and then speed contesting unit, speed contesting unit, speed contesting unit, speed contesting unit, speed contesting unit. So you cannot speed contest all of them. You have to turn to. So what is your best turn to offense that you would recommend other people to use? So these are the speeds on the team that I have. If we copy this over there, it gets placed over there, which is pretty chill. So this would outspeed, but I forgot one thing. So this is already like, oh, this would actually work. And this is where I assume it's like, hey, this works. But there's one thing that I forgot. This one also needs a 21 speed lead in there. And then we actually do need a lot more speed, which is more towards something along these lines, which is it even more than that? Pretty much even more than that. Yeah, this is how much speed we need. We need to increase a lot of speed for that. My bad. Guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. As you as always, in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.